and welcome to Stunthangar Video Hangouts. My name is Charles Carter, and I'll be your host this evening. I want to extend to you my gratitude for you watching Stunthangar Video Hangouts. If you are watching this as a replay, I want you to know that I host these YouTube live streams every Monday and Friday evening, starting at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So please make a note of this so you can watch or be part of the live stream. Plus, we have an after party following the live stream, which is sometimes better than the live stream portion. You must be a registered Stunthangar Forum member to find the link to be part of the live stream and the following after party. Here at Stunthangar Video Hangouts, we talk about building and flying model airplanes, sport flying, competition flying, and what you've been doing lately. To join our conversation, if you are already a member of Stunthangar Forum, you can find a link if you scroll down to the section called At the Bench. Now, if you're not a member or if you're not logged into Stunthangar Forum, the At the Bench link will not appear. If you are not a member, please register at stunthangar.com/SMF. That's stunthangar.com/SMF. That's Smart Men Flying, courtesy of Jeff Riley. You must place a space between your real first and last name when you register. You must also use a valid email address, or Sparky, the proprietor of Stunthangar, will not approve you. If you're not inclined to come in, but just enjoy watching us on YouTube, wonderful, fantastic. Please enter your questions or comments in the chat box over here, and I'll do my best to make your comments or questions a part of the show. Now, understand, sometimes even I can't get a word in myself, so be patient. And I will ask our illustrious panel your questions or state your comments. And by the way, you can only do that during a live stream. So like I said, I host these YouTube live streams every Monday and Friday evening, starting at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Now, if you find the Stunthangar Video Hangouts that I host, or the many building videos, Saturday at John's, contest coverage that Sparky does on this platform, informative and enjoyable, please hit the thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Subscribe, and when you subscribe, make sure you hit the notification bell so that, and select all, so that whether myself or Sparky comes on, you'll be notified. Share the videos. Comments also help the Stunthangar YouTube channel grow. Please consider joining Stunthangar's YouTube channel memberships, which start at just $4.99 a month, which is a blue button below if you're not a member. And that's less than 17 cents a day. And by the way, I'm a member. I have the $4.99 come out of my checking account, and I don't miss it. And I suspect you won't miss it either. Plus, you'll be supporting hopefully your hobby and your passion. Now, you also can show your support and love by donating through what's called Super Chat, which is located over here below the chat box. It's a big $sign. And when you do, that helps support just some of the expenses of running Stunthangar. And with your support, you'll get special badges and stickers that we can see in the chat box, plus access to unlimited replay of member-only videos. And once a month, Sparky has a Q&A, a question and answer show for members only. Now, this is Sparky's YouTube channel. It's not mine. I'm just in here twice a week. But if you want to get in touch with me, go to my YouTube channel, which is called Flying Control Line Stunt. That's Flying Control Line Stunt. And when you get there, place a comment or question on the 2019 AMA National Championships video, which Sparky shot with his video camera of me flying his beautiful Junar XL. And I'll receive a notification and be able to respond to you quickly, because I check my comments on my channel, but not so much on Sparky's channel. I want to thank you for your past, your present, and future support. You are making it happen. Please keep the conversations family room friendly. In other words, please don't use words or do things you wouldn't do or say around your own grandchildren or children. And without any further ado, I'm going to post a link now at Stunthangar Forum. So let me do that as we get this show up and running. All right, so I'm at Stunthangar Forum, and post. Okay, so hopefully there's people there already waiting to come on in. And I'm going to go to Sparky's YouTube channel and go to, I see there's some people already there. Let me go here, and I need to go. I want to go to the control panel. And looks like my internet is a little bit slow. I have a lot of people using up the bandwidth. Let's see here. Hope everybody's had a good week. I've been flying quite a bit this week. I'm preparing for a contest this Sunday, actually. I won't be competing Saturday, but I'll be there. And currently we're showing 6 concurrent viewers, 4 likes. Thank you very much. So if you haven't hit the like button, please smash that. That helps the analytics of the program, and it's very helpful. And Dennis Adamiston says, hello, Stunthangar chat room. Hope everyone had a great week of flying like delivered. Thank you very much, Dennis Adamiston. Hope to see you. And then Tom Rammel says, like provided, and I hope to see you too. Dennis Adamiston is actually a member of the Stunthangar YouTube chat. He's a member of the Stunthangar's YouTube memberships. I can tell by there's a special sticker next to his name. And so he's supporting us. And I can see the supporting patrons. And I hope my volume is coming through. I can see I'm streaming, but I don't know if my volume, can you guys hear me? Let me know if I coming across, if the audio is good. I can see I'm streaming, but I can't tell the audio. I don't get any feedback. I just hear my voice in my head. That's it. Trying to keep it positive, positive in my head. And let me do something else while I'm waiting for people to get in here. And anyways, I was out to flying field today. Beautiful day. Absolutely. I think it was the best day of the week. I mean, the wind came up, but it never was threatening as far as the amount of wind. There was a little bit of gusting, but I've had worse gusts this week. And so I really had a pretty good day. Actually had the good fortune of having Eric Rule observe my flights in preparation for this contest. So, hey, Stuart, how are you doing?
Good.
Can you hear me all right?
Yep. Can you hear me?
Right. I can hear you fine.
If that noise in the background, that fan's bothersome, just let me know.
I don't hear it.
Okay, it's far enough.
You must have a noise counseling mic, which is great.
So, okay.
Fantastic. Oh, you're working on a combat ship, looks like.
Yeah, I'm gonna use this for to learn the part of the more difficult patterns.
Yeah, the combat planes are and some of them are pretty durable. I've seen some people actually hit the ground really hard with a Walkerman with the carbon fiber trailing edge. Yeah. And all they do is break the prop, and then they just put a new prop on and down the road. Hey, Keith, welcome. Thank you very much for coming in.
Hi, Charles.
And I have in the chat box, Guider. Sound is good. Thank you very much, Glider. And consider coming in if you're not a member of the Stunthangar YouTube channel. Member of the Stunthangar forum. Just go to stunthangar.com/SMF and just register with your first and last name. You need to put a space between that and a valid email, and Sparky should get around to approving you. Anyway, so consider doing that. But you're welcome in the chat box, just the same. And then I have Gary Sinclair. He's also a member of of our YouTube channel, and he says coming in. And then Jeff Riley says picture and sound are good. Like sent. Thank you very much, Jeff. Appreciate that. And Gary Sinclair is making his way in here. I can see the making the connection. So anybody do any flying? I did quite a bit of flying this week.
Yeah, I did some. It was good. Starting to learn the pattern.
Very good. Hey, Gary, thank you for coming in, man. How about you, Keith? Did you do some flying, Keith?
No, was planning out this morning, something came up, but tomorrow's looking good too, and the temperature's been in the 70s today, maybe
Oh,
tomorrow.
nice. Ooh, that sounds beautiful. How's the wind forecast?
Forecast at the airport near there is like 5 miles an hour tomorrow morning.
Oh, great. All right.
I'm going to try it.
Yeah, hopefully that works out. Yeah. So how you been, Gary?
Pretty good.
All right.
Yeah.
So I just been preparing for this weekend's contest. I'm not competing on Saturday. I'm just going to go there and just observe Saturday. But Sunday, I'm going to compete in the advanced competition on Sunday. So, oh, by the way, Keith, Eric Trossel told me to tell you hi.
Very cool.
Yeah, Eric Rule, I meant, excuse me.
Yeah.
Eric Trossel.
we go way back. Some of the most enjoyable trips to contests I've had with him.
Oh, I bet.
Those trips go quick.
Yes, yeah, I know. He's really funny. He's witty. He enjoys your company too. He enjoys your quiet humor. He described it as quiet humor. He said he is really funny, but his humor is really quiet. So I had the pleasure of, he actually was watching me fly today. I put up 4 flights, and he was critiquing me and helping me take care of some of the low-hanging fruit.
Well, I don't know if he still judges or not, but he's judged a lot over the years.
Yeah, he's going to judge at the Las Vegas Stunt Challenge.
That sounds right. Yeah, he's a good and fair judge.
Yes, yeah,
And he doesn't care who you are.
yeah. He seems really analytical how he judges. And so Joe Mata was with me, and when I was flying, Joe and Eric was talking, and so I know Joe picked up a plethora of information today, around how to judge and what judges are looking for, and so he was kind of teaching Joe how to critique me, which is great, because now when Eric leaves, or Eric left, but hopefully next week or for here on for a while, Joe will be able to, hammer me on my tendencies, So now, do you have a coach or someone helping you, Keith?
I've never had a coach as such. I've had some really good people critique me a lot. Bob Whiteley did that a lot. And,
Oh yeah, that's great, critiquing Bob Whiteley.
when he says something, you listen. Yeah. And Eric, he'd point out a few things sometimes when I was doing so. But just to sit down with a coach, I've never had one.
Yeah, I don't have one on a regular basis. I used to have a buddy of mine named Mike Mulligan, and I hope he's listening, because I really appreciate his coaching. And like Eric did today, Eric actually not only told me what he saw in my pattern, but he had a solution. And almost anybody can critique and say, "Oh, you're missing this, or you're doing that." But Eric actually was watching me, and he watched my physicality of how I was flying, and he saw something that was a contributing factor to why I was doing what I was doing. And so that was awesome that he could point that out. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to be working on that, and I can work on it at home, actually, not even flying the plane, the things he saw.
Yeah, for somebody to do that like he does, he has to be more than a competent pilot. And Eric knows how to fly a pattern. He knows what it's supposed to look like, and knows what it takes to do that.
Yeah. Let me say hi to Brendan. Hey, Brendan and Engstrom, how you guys doing?
All right. Good evening.
Good evening. What are you guys working on?
You want to tell them? It's the wing from our, what is it? It's a ringmaster. Our ringmaster. You remember this?
I remember that, but it's missing the fuselage.
Yeah, it wasn't flying well. The balsa on the fuselage is all like old and heavy, so we're gonna put a new one on.
All right, cool.
It hasn't been flying well, so we're gonna make sure the wing's straight. We got some other things here where the lead outs are solid wire. There's no adjustment ability to them.
Oh yeah.
And so, this thing was flying real wonky. I mean, he was having fun with it out there when we did fly it, but fun in a crazy, can't control it kind of way.
Oh.
So we're gonna just kind of rehab it and see if we can get it together for. I think we want to be able to do old time stunt on it. So.
Very cool. That's good.
Yep, that's the plan.
Very good. Let me say hi to Jerry. Hey Jerry, thank you for coming in. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Hi, Jerry.
Hey,
Save me a message. I'm planning on going out in the morning. Looks like it might be good.
I'll be there.
Okay. I'll try to be there a little bit earlier than usual. Because it looks like it'd be good and it's going to be cool.
Yeah. It's good thing you didn't come. The wind came up today.
Okay. Well, it's calm here all day. Really. Interesting.
You want some new stuff? Yeah.
That's a problem here in Colorado. You can be in calm air, same terrain, and 30 miles an hour. I don't know if the mountains somehow channel the wind a certain way, but it can be calm one place, 30 miles away, same terrain, and be blowing 30 miles an hour.
Wow. Now, is your wind, though, is it clean wind, or is there a lot of turbulence from trees and stuff, or is it?
Well, where our flying field, there are no trees. I mean, it's completely barren. Yeah, I think that's a good way to describe it. When you say, Jerry?
Probably the biggest thing to catch the wind are the big rocks.
Yeah.
Okay. So the wind is pretty clean. It's not just full of swirlies.
Yeah, it's fairly clean, except, in the summer, we get the heat and the thermals start popping. So
Yeah, the thermals start coming up and
that gets a little treacherous. You be in the middle of a maneuver and all of a sudden the wind is blowing 180 degrees off of what it was when you started the maneuver, and it's blowing strong. So those thermals are great when you've got a soaring plane out, but not a stunt plane.
Yeah.
well, something is wrong with our location when I drive past, maybe 5-6 miles away from the field. I drive past this atmospheric research center where they test windmills. And I don't know why they would put windmills near our flying field, but there it is.
Wow. Jeff Riley has a comment. He says, my dad used to help me sweep up the parts when I'd crash a plane. His best advice was just keep it fun. Yeah, that is great advice, because, there have been people that have just, some people have been frustrated by other people's, but I think some people actually leave the event because they just not fun anymore. So, you got to keep it fun. And I have to work on keeping it fun because I'm such a serious competitor. I'm not a mean competitor, but I definitely want to beat your butt, and I want to beat you on your best day too. And so I try to keep it fun.
I don't know when there's ever been a time that I haven't had fun, and I get frustrated sometimes, but it's all been fun for me over the years.
Hey, Mike Lonky's in the house. Thank you, Mike, for coming in. Appreciate it. Yeah,
Well,
I have fun.
One thing is frustrating because I was in Poland with a team, I think it's 7 years ago, and that flying field, and you've read a little bit now on Stunthangar about it, but what they're talking about, that flying field, is no exaggeration of what the condition of that flying field is or was. And yet it's supposed to be it's supposed to be, you'd think world competition, world-class competition, you'd expect, if it's grass field, you'd expect something equivalent to professional soccer field type grass.
Right.
This was just a weed patch that would put, a cow pasture would put this thing to shame.
Oh, that's terrible.
You know, weeds with size of your your finger.
Oh,
And
that thick?
yeah, that thick.
Oh,
And so when you find a takeoff area, while you kind of try to push things or pull things away and all that. And when we first were able to fly on that field, why I launched Kenny Stevens' airplane with electric, and his landing gear tangled up with some of those weeds, flipped over and broke the nose off.
oh, that is so messed up.
Because the torque of that motor, you know, just kept running and just kept beating itself until it tore itself up.
Oh man, that's unbelievable for a world championship event.
Anyway, he was able to borrow an airplane from the Japanese, and as a gas, and he'd flown an airplane like that before. In fact, I think it was Kaz Minato let him borrow an airplane, and the same engine that Kenny was familiar with. And he practiced and practiced, and I don't remember if he qualified. He came close to qualifying, I think, even with that. And his score was still good enough. I think the team came in third, so it wasn't a total disaster for the team. Just disappointing.
So that's the I didn't see the article. Actually, I haven't been on Stunthangar, but very briefly, the forum. So I'm not familiar about what they were talking about. But I remember reading about Australia, how the practice field was like 3/4 of an inch high. The grass was mowed frequently. You know, it sounded like like what you'd find on a putting green or like you said, a soccer field. Really nice.
Well, and the FAI rules require that for a world championship, flying field. If it's not paved, it's supposed to be equivalent to a good maintained, well-maintained soccer field.
Yeah. So have you heard anything about an announcement for next year's world?
It'd be in 2 years, and I don't, I think there are two locations. One's in Spain, and the other's in Bulgaria or something like that. Now, Spain, if it's the same place they were there some years ago, they have a whole flying center there for combat circles and a speed circle, a paved stunt circle, one paved stunt circle, and then adjacent to that it is a soccer field, and they had to mow that soccer field like once a day because the grass would grow so fast. And people were even having trouble later in the day getting off that field because the grass would get too tall. But their flying field, I'm wasting people's time here, but in there, it had a paved circle, but had a fence just beyond the edge of the circle. And if you stepped off the center of the circle, you're going to go right into that fence.
Oh.
And there wasn't room then for the judges. They had to move around the circle for the wind. There wasn't room between the judges and that fence. So it wasn't an ideal situation.
I've seen videos of that location. I know exactly what you're talking about. I've seen it on YouTube.
Yeah, Valladolid is the town.
Yeah. I have a comment here by Sherry Morgan. I'm not quite, if I understand it. There's no one here. Oh, now I get it. So Sherry Morgan, she's talking about you, Sam. She's saying you're looking old. You know Sherry Morgan, Mike?
I don't think so.
Yeah, she's probably surprised how much Sam is growing up. Said Sammy's looking old.
Unless that's Keith Morgan that's watching, maybe. We know Keith from Huntersville. If that's him, maybe. Sherry Morgan's not ringing a bell, dude.
All right. Very cool. Yeah, Brodax, I really thought they did a good job mowing the grass. And I think they must have mowed it, I don't know how often, but it was very nice. Because that's one of the few times I actually competed off grass. Usually I practice on grass where I live, and then I compete on asphalt. So that was kind of nice to actually compete on grass.
I was trying to pull up a picture of our flying site to show you, Charles, but it's not coming up off of iCloud, so I'm not sure what the problem is here.
Okay, yeah.
I'll keep trying.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. That'd be good. So right now we have 19 concurrent viewers. Thank you very much. Thanks for tuning in. And we have 10 likes. So if you haven't hit the like button, please smash the like button. That helps the analytics of the show so that when people go to their home channel, you'll have some recommended views and we will show up as a recommended view. You know, so the it makes a difference. Hey, Philip, thank you for coming in. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You been doing any flying, Phil?
Hoping to go in the morning, but I haven't been this week. Been a long week.
Yeah, I actually flew so far every day except for Wednesday. Wednesday they were mowing my field, so I and the wind was up, and I got there late, so I bailed on. I didn't even unload my stuff Wednesday. But yeah, so this is one of the best weeks I've had in a long time. It actually feels like a long week for me.
Yeah, I tried to go Thursday, but it was raining, so we didn't make it.
Yeah, you guys in Southern California get spoiled because you can fly year round. That's not fair.
Yeah,
that's true. We can fly. I can fly year round, absolutely, except for when it rains, which is not that bad.
Yeah, it never rains in California though, but when it does, it pours.
Yeah, and you know it's a whole nother subject. There's a lot
Yeah.
of people talk about that. That's for darn sure. So, have you done any building or anything now, Phil?
No, I haven't done anything this week. I've been busy trying to help people this week.
Oh,
Too
good.
many friends that need help, different things. So some weeks you get everything done, and some weeks you get nothing done. And this was one of them latter ones.
Yeah. Well,
I don't even have my this is Friday night, and I don't even have my grass mowed yet. My grass is always mowed on Thursday evening. I mean, it takes a whole 45 minutes to mow it. It's not that it's not a big yard. It's just I've got a good lawnmower, and it don't take but 45 minutes. It used to take me an hour and a half, 2 hours and a half. But this new lawnmower is just much faster than the old one.
oh, cool. Hey, Brendan, did you want to say something? I saw you leaning in.
Yeah, we got a question. Astrom's got a question here. So
All right.
so I did some flying today, and there was no wind, and I was having some problems doing my outside loops and square eights, and I was wondering if there are any tips to flying with no wind.
Yeah, you might have been going through your own turbulence, and I'm sure everybody else can echo that and contribute to that. Anybody has something to suggest, Anstrom?
Best thing I can tell you is as you make a loop, whether it's inside or outside, as you make a loop, as you get to the bottom, take a step back. Just take one step back. Do another one, take another step back. Take a third one, take another step back. Then as you come around, like the first pattern when you're going in inverted, as you start coming around, walk back to where you started. You know, take your steps back, because on your outside, you're going to do the same thing again. Another tip, if you can, switch it from what size propeller you fly? 10-inch?
Yeah, we were on a 10.
Okay, well, you can't go a whole lot smaller than that. Most people want to run big props nowadays for some reason. And 10-inch, you drop down a size if you can, but I doubt you can if you're using 10-inch props. 9s just don't usually get it. But one step smaller prop, I dropped from 12 to an 11, and or I drop from a 12 to an 11, and it just, you're flying through less of your own turbulence. The motor doesn't, you don't swing as big a prop, you don't make as much turbulence, you don't have as much to fly through. And that's not something I came up with. That's something Paul Walker told me at the Nats one year. We were talking to him and just asking him different questions, and he told me that. I asked him, why you fly such a small prop? He said, you feel any wind today? No. There you go. And then he elaborated. So it's Paul's a sharp guy. If Paul says it, I'm gonna listen to it.
Would there be a turbulence issue? I mean, he was saying the outside loops. I can see that. Should there be issues on the square eights of going through your own turbulence? I would think maybe it would have cleared by the time you get back around to the same part.
Well, you'd think it would, but you're turning so hard at that point, and all of a sudden, that if there's anything, it seems like it's been magnified over a nice sweeping turn, you know. So it just depends. I mean, some days it's going to, some days not. You're just going to have to feel it out.
Hey, Dennis, I don't know if you came in a little bit late, but Angstrom asked, he's experiencing in no wind, you know, difficulty doing outside rounds, was it, Angstrom, and then square eights?
Yep.
And I suspect he's going through his own turbulence.
Yeah, well, first off, sorry I'm late, all that.
No worries, no worries.
You were asking just a minute ago if the turbulence can still be there in a consecutive maneuver. I swear I was flying at Brodak once, and when I did my hourglass, I hit turbulence from my vertical 8, 2 lefts before. All right. I mean, it's weird. It can happen and everything like that. And you just have to be ready for it and respond the best you can. If you're experiencing turbulence, congratulations, you're flying your maneuvers right on top of each other. All right.
Mm-hmm.
That's the good thing. Well, what you have to do now is learn how to deal with it. And the most common thing is simply to try to walk backwards. All right. Take it like at least a step every maneuver. And you may not clear it completely, but you'll get into at least a partially clearing air, and it will help you out quite a bit.
Yeah, one thing I'm hearing from you and what Phil said that I'd never thought of is, you know, I think we've been talking a little bit about walking backwards or even just trying it, you know, with air and stuff, just for him to get comfortable with that piece. But what I'm catching from you all is that at the end of the maneuver, so at the end of the first outside loop, go ahead and take a step back there. That way there's like consistency in what you're doing. It's not just kind of a wiggle back the whole time. It's, I'm at the bottom step. I'm at the bottom again step. That way.
Yeah, and it's and that's a funny thing because I've tried it both ways. I've tried walking continuously in small steps, and I've also tried walking like one big step every maneuver and everything like that. And honestly, on a day-to-day basis, it you know, if it's not real severe, one step will do it. Sometimes it feels like you're walking all over the place. Now here's the other thing. If you think you're going to be walking like that, you know where the center of your circle is, okay? And if you're constantly walking backwards, you're going to be way off center, obviously, before the maneuver ends. And depending on where you're flying, you might hit some trees or something like that, and that's really, really bad. Yeah. So if you're in a condition where you think you're going to be walking some, what I like to try to do is start my maneuver standing at the edge of the center circle, or, you know, standing a couple of steps, you know, past where the center is downwind. And then as you're walking, you won't go so far off center. Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And so, but you're on the right target. That one step, you might, you know, you don't even have to wait till a really dead calm day to do it and everything like that. You might get the idea of practicing some of that while you're just flying regular maneuvers or even flying a sport plane or something like that. Get used to what does it take if your body's, you know, like I know you've heard here several times people talking about getting your body in position and using that as a reference so you hit your maneuvers right, and that's that's the good thing. But in some cases, it's really hard to do that, and when you're forced to move, do it in an orderly fashion so you can still maintain, you know, your body presence, you know, your position and stuff, maintain all your reference points as you're backing up. So it's it is quite literally walking, chewing gum, and rubbing your belly and patting your head all at the same time. I mean, but you pick up that, again, just like everything else. Don't wait till contest day to try to do it. All right, try to do it before you get there.
I want to
So-
make a point before, and Keith's next. Keith had his hand up. Well, it might be obvious, but you obviously want to be back, that step back before you come through where the plane's at the bottom. So you don't want to be at the bottom and step back. You want to step back at maybe like 9 o'clock or 9 o'clock coming down before you get there. So it's kind of a pace of stepping back and stopping. I'm actually stopped where I'm going through where the turbulent was, because you move the plane out of that path, right? So that might have been obvious. Go ahead, Keith.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
What airplane are you using?
We're using a Twister that I made.
Okay, is it fairly light? Is it fairly light and flies well? Okay, you're comfortable with it?
Yep.
Okay, you may be seeing under real calm conditions, you're seeing the effect of gyroscopic precession, because on outsides, gyroscopic precession is going to want to move the nose in to the circle. And if it's a fairly light airplane and under no wind conditions, why you'll see and you'll feel that. And that's just the physics of what's going on with your airplane out there.
Okay.
Question, are you using a
that's
normal or a
correct.
reverse rotation prop?
Normal rotation.
Okay. Keith, with what you just described, it would be the opposite condition, an inside loop problem with a reverse pitch prop, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Hadn't thought of that, but of course he's right on target with that. Why you could experience it worse in one condition than another.
Yeah, and dead air condition, dead air, why you'll feel that more than when there's wind at your back.
And what are the things I've heard before about maybe mounting to your plane, the warblers or whatever it is that, it sounds like it disrupts the air or changes the air. What are those? I'm probably saying it wrong, but
Well, when your airplane starts to maneuver, particularly in the squares where you're given hard control, you're twisting a bunch of air around, and you're beating up the air a lot, and it's going to sit there and swirl. And when you come back into it, well, you're going to feel a lightness on your controls and that sort of thing. So, and who knows what the airplane sees when it sees those bubbles, but there are bubbles in the air and they're waiting for you when you come back around. But again, with a fairly light airplane and no wind, you're going to feel the gyroscopic precession.
I have a question or comment by Jerry. Go ahead, Jerry.
Well, I just wanted to ask a question because he said he was having trouble with those consecutive maneuvers, but I don't think we established that it was turbulence necessarily. Is that sound like what your problem was, that you're hitting your own turbulence, or is it something else?
Or is it just lines going slack?
I'm
Through
not sure
the
because
maneuver.
on my square eights, just the outside square on the square eights, even the first one, it did not have tension. Well,
Okay, so you're lacking tension. That's the problem?
kind of on that stunt.
Yeah, well,
Then you need to start playing with tip weight and lead out rake and that sort of thing too.
Keith, if that's happening on the first maneuver, that would be a classic precession effect too, wouldn't it?
Yes. Yeah,
So it's not even awake turbulence at that point.
at that point, yes.
so there's an article written by Paul Walker, and I think it's on Stunt News somewhere. You can do it, or not Stunt News, Stunthangar. You can do a search for it, but it's on trimming your plane, and there's a lot in that about tip weight and the location of your lead outs. You have adjustable lead outs?
Yeah, we do.
Okay. So it's really playing with those two things to try to reduce that light line problem.
And I don't understand it. Maybe Dennis can help explain it better, but sometimes when you don't have much line tension, you move your lead outs forward and that will help. I don't understand that.
Right.
Sometimes it works.
Yeah, I've had that happen
Dennis,
too.
you're
muted,
Like it-
Dennis.
I'll lower your boom.
Sorry. Yeah, I was just saying it's counterintuitive. You would think always moving it back would always be more line tension and stuff, but like Keith said, it ain't necessarily so. Don't be afraid to move them forward. The other thing of all things, I've become reacquainted with rudder offset this year and determined it wasn't so much, people think of tipping the rudder out so you can get lots of line tension. Well, that's not really the case. I think what it does do, especially with a profile model,
Howard?
I think they have a tendency of kind of snaking through the air and they don't necessarily hold a steady path. You'll notice that sometimes you do like a square maneuver, come out of your square maneuver and it'll come out, it'll just sit there and it'll like horizontally wobble and stuff like that. It's because they can't find a happy center. Okay. And I've had a lot of luck steadying out airplanes with as little as 1/8 of an inch of rudder offset. And it wasn't generating tension so much as it was generating stability in the airplane. So it would always come back to a steady track. Okay. The Pathfinder out of the box, that's the RF, right? It's probably got a pretty straight rudder. Doesn't it?
Yeah, usually it does.
Yeah.
I would not be afraid to take that and see if you could take, about where the back of the fuselage is, take it from there and kick it out. And it doesn't take very much at all. In fact, don't even do that. Just take and put a little tab or something like that on the rudder as if it was adjusting.
Yeah.
And I'll bet you'll see a positive influence on that too.
Tape a triangular wedge, like an 1/8
There you
inch,
go.
½ inch as a triangular wedge, maybe inch and a half long, and see what happens.
Yeah, like a piece of trailing edge stock or something like that, the tapered wood.
Mhm.
It doesn't take an awful lot. All you're looking for is to stabilize the airplane in that horizontal plane, in the yaw plane. So
Yep. Yeah, that makes sense.
Let me interrupt and welcome Howard Rush. Thank you for coming in, Howard.
Hi.
Back from the World Championships. Thank you.
he's at the
Yeah.
JCT airport, I believe.
Yeah, here's the dog.
Ah! Oh, wait,
What
that's on
happened? It
purpose.
exploded. I mean,
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it
exploded on you.
Yeah, I haven't put it back together yet, so yeah.
Mhm.
that's
All
a
right.
pretty dog.
Nice.
Don't
Did
eat
you
much.
have any trouble when you assembled the airplane? Do you ever have any trouble with the thing like not properly aligning and going through some retrim flights or anything like that? Or is it pretty well locked in right out of the box?
I have a stop on the push rod and it came, so I had to fiddle with the push. It's much better on this one than it was on the last one that Keith had to hold for 2 hours while I was trying to find it.
Oh,
But
boy.
So Brendan, did we finish and answer your questions? I want to make sure Angstrom is well acquainted on what you might pursue. We just got through talking about the wedge on the rudder, and I actually tried that. For a different issue, but Dennis directed me to do something like that also on my Chipmunk, and it did make a difference.
Yeah, I mean, I think he gave us a lot of things to think about. Also, with that twister, we had moved the lines back and kept moving the lines back and found it getting edgier. But it could be that, yeah, maybe we've moved them back too far to the point where we've lost some of that stability and the line tension. So
Yeah.
Well, you make me you remind me of something. Did you do anything prior before you experiencing this? Sometimes when you make a trim adjustment, it doesn't show up. Doesn't manifest itself right away, and then when you go flying, and it could be related to what an adjustment you made before. There's always a trade-off. You're always borrowing from Paul to pay Peter, and sometimes when you gain something, you actually lost something else. Did you do anything before?
no, not noticeably, but we've only had it up in the air 3 different days, so it's still very, very new to us. And You know, flying in the calm air, you know, is different from flying on windy days too. So I think it's just going to take some learning and figuring out what's going on, but also it's going to take some experience too, you know, because I'm not on the lines, and obviously I don't have the experience. He's the most, you know, expert flyer I got here and stuff, but you know, obviously
Well,
he's
that's it.
in the beginning of some of this stuff too. So just kind of, you know, knowing what you got, knowing how it feels, what you're experiencing and stuff. He's the only one that can communicate it. And,
Okay. One more thing. Again, I walked in late. So are you absolutely sure that the wings are level with the lines?
you know
Reason
what?
I ask is if the wing was hanging down upright, it would look, everything would look fine. And every single time you do an outside loop or something like that, it's going to start popping and hopping and everything like that on you. And it doesn't take an awful lot. All right.
You know
I've
what?
had
I was
airplanes
thinking
where I literally couldn't even see that there was a warp in it or anything like that. And I went ahead and twisted the flaps and I was able to improve the condition. All right.
And you
Yeah,
can sometimes,
you know-
you can sometimes see that on the ground as you watch the airplane going around when he's flying fairly low and level. But the pilot's the one who can see it best, because either he can see maybe part of the top of the wing one way and part of the bottom of the wing the other way. He can't see any difference in what he sees top or bottom of the wing, both inverted or upright. Then he should be okay with that part. But
Yeah,
then,
that's definitely something. You say you've only had it out a couple of days. You might still need a little bit of a flap tweak on that too. So.
Yeah, we can look at that. I also think I noticed that maybe there was a little too much tip weight out in the end. There was just a little bit of a, you know, a tilt to it downwards while flying in the upright position. So, you know, that may be something to look at too.
I'd be willing to wager you got more of a level wing problem than anything else.
Okay.
How much tip weight? You said it was a Pathfinder?
And now it's a twister.
Oh, a twister.
Most commonly we fly our Pathfinder, but we put together a twister that fanterized twister that we're trying to work in.
How much tip weight do you have?
I don't remember how much we put in there.
Yeah, it's easy to get too much tip weight in a twister.
Yeah, it's got a box. We did put an adjustable tip weight box in there, so I can get in there and see what we got.
Yeah, I would check it in level flight, upright. If you got too much weight in level flight, the outboard wing will be low whether you're inverted or upright. So if that's the case, you know you've got too much tip weight.
You can see a lot better in maneuvers when you got more
Yes.
load factor on.
Yeah, it'll really shout it out in the maneuvers.
Yeah.
The thing with too much tip weight is I don't think it would show up as lightness in outside maneuvers, because if it was too much, the tendency would be for the wing, you know, to throw too far and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm boy, hearing the whole story here, I'm really thinking we got a wing warp to fix. So,
Yeah.
I mean, very tiny, but you got just a little bit.
It doesn't take much.
It doesn't take much at all.
So since you got all these answers, your conclusion should probably be that often it's complicated.
Yeah.
It's like, give up. No, don't give up.
Don't give up. You just
You
need to
guys have
check a lot
gone
of
too
things.
far. Angstrom,
Yeah.
you turned into a heck of a flyer. Just keep chugging away there, man.
You know what's exciting for him though, or at least what I've told him, and you know I think he agrees. He saw my first build, my first stick built plane, which was a lightning streak, and we got that out in the first couple of flights. I mean that thing like shot like a rocket straight up once, and then was a lawn dart. It did not turn into a bag of pieces, but you know that was the first one that I stick built. So us doing this twister build that you've seen, you know, over the months here. All I could sit there and think in the back of my mind was like, we can spend all the time we want on this thing, but what will it actually do when it's in the air? And the fact that he put an entire full pattern flight on it today, you know, and whatnot, like, hey, it means that we're in pretty good shape, just a little bit of trimming left to do with it. But, you know, given where my previous build was, I'm ecstatic about what we got here.
Twister built straight and light and has good power on it, will fly pretty well. Even at our elevation, it'll fly well. We fly at 6,200 feet.
Wow.
So in the middle of the summer, the air density is pretty low. So Twister's a good stunt trainer.
And I could tell a story. I've got an old time airplane that I've been flying for more than like 12 years plus. I made a horrible mistake when I was putting together, and it's flapless wing, but the trailing edge is made of laminating 2 pieces of 16th inch sheet. And I made a terrible mistake that I used wood glue to put that together.
Uh-oh.
And so it warps. In
Yes.
early years, I was able to take the heat gun and so forth and get the wings level. Now I don't, and then they just go back. I don't fight that anymore. I just got wedges on one top of one wing on the outside and the other wing the opposite direction. Use those wedges to kind of keep it balanced, and it works. But and I just watch and see which, if I can see top of the wing, bottom of the wing, anytime inverted right and upright, and that determines how much bigger or how much smaller I make those wedges. I'll show that to you if you like.
Yeah, I'm always interested in people's trim tabs. I've seen some that are adjustable and some that aren't, and
well, these are just balsa wood wedges on the wingtips held on a Scotch tape.
Wow,
really
okay.
scientific stuff. Hold on.
What kind of glue do you use to put the trailing edges together if you don't use wood glue?
Use epoxy.
Epoxy or resin. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I tried to make some flaps using laminated balsa wood, and I
Oh,
used
flap.
wood glue.
I thought he said it was a flapless wing.
Well,
I
the
figured
trailing
2
edge-
pieces
the
of 1
trailing edge-
16th.
The
trailing
trailing
edge-
edge is a fairly white sheet on
Yep.
this airplane, and they're made of laminated 2 pieces of 16th inch wood, and that's the way the original was, and that's the way we built this one.
Uh-huh.
I used wood glue, and I moistened the wood so the wood glue is not so thick, and there's no way that's going to not warp.
Yeah. So you use epoxy on those?
Well, finishing resin is light. You just brush it on. You brush it on and then take a squeegee and wipe as much of it as you can, and then put them together.
Okay, that's what I'll do next time then.
They'll-
Because I have experienced that myself even recently, and I was wondering what's a better way to do it. I always thought wood glue was the answer, but evidently
I'll
not.
bring in something else to show you that. Hold on.
Okay. See, anybody can learn.
Yeah, I know. I learn things on this show quite often. I mean, over the years, I've learned so much.
Mhm.
I have a guest in the chat box, and I'm going to butcher their name, and I want to apologize. Adriano Araujo, I think. Anyways, it's in Spanish. Brazil, something persona. So anyways, I did my best, but welcome to the Hangout, to the Stunthangar Video Hangout. Thank you very much for coming in. All is welcome, even if I don't know how to say your name.
Yeah. What happened to Mike Lonke? Is he still around?
Yeah, I see his garage, but I don't see him or Sam.
Yeah, we might get to him a little bit. I want to ask him a question.
All right. Hey, Howard, did you get to communicate to those Mongolian people and explain to them how to get on the Hangout? Maybe Howard's locked up. He's just like a still picture. He might be outside flying.
He's like that. He's like that, you know.
Well, remember his airplane was laying in a dozen pieces. Ah, there he is.
Yeah.
There he is. So did you get a chance to explain to them, and maybe they might consider coming into the Stunthangar Video Hangouts?
Their English skills are not too good, so I had a hard time communicating with them. But we're going to get together by email. And
okay, cool.
Okay. Well, their English skills aren't too good. They'll fit right in here. So
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well,
No.
the young lady, she won the women's, and then the young man, what did he? How did he place?
He was in the middle of the pack, I think, about like me. He's pretty good. That Jenkins is his name. His sister was there too. She had an airplane, but she didn't fly it in the contest. She warmed up the judges though.
Nice.
And the other lady got second in the female category. So I think
Yeah, the
Well, she had-
Italian
yeah.
won it, I think.
they had a good time.
You look like you were having a pretty good time too, Howard.
Yeah, I was having a pretty good time.
Especially when the red ladies came around.
Oh yeah, the red ladies. Yeah.
Almost
Oh,
afraid
man.
to ask, but did the white and the blue ladies show up or?
I look, I was there to fly stunt. I didn't have time for that stuff.
Ah, that's my man. There we go.
Howard, I didn't think you were that old.
I'm very old.
Yeah, but not that old. Come on,
Yeah.
man. Mm.
He's JCT. He's used to dealing with groupies. So
Oh yeah, we
Man, I
I
tell you.
won't repeat any of the little ditties there, but yeah.
Well, Howard, did you have fun? That's the important part.
Yeah. The people there made sure I had fun. It's not too. If you go for the stunt contest, it's not that great. But that's great.
As long as you had fun. I talked to Trey and he said that he had fun. He made a lot of new friends and was interested in thinking about trying it again someday. Oh, it's
Yeah.
a big job.
His airplane was quite popular. People
Yeah.
thought.
Yeah,
Let's have a look at Pete Trostle's wedges.
it's a big job. That's a very good airplane.
Phil, have you seen this thing fly?
No, sir, but I've seen Charlie's fly.
Okay. Okay, I don't know whether you can see
Yeah,
Yeah, I
sure.
see it.
the curvature on that trailing edge.
I do.
Yeah, I see it.
Oh yeah.
And
I had a ringmaster do that.
It's
Ringmaster 576, and it's
it's
embarrassing.
It's just the opposite on the other wing. So
Yeah.
the solution is this, it's like 8x1/2 triangular piece of wood, just Scotch tape on there. It's not very pretty, but that, and then one on the other side, on the opposite wing, does the same thing. I had to make them a little bit bigger earlier this year because they weren't compensating for the twist, but
Mhm.
I know what to do next time, not to use wood glue when I laminate that. This is 2 pieces 16th inch sheet, and interesting construction. If you want to get into it, we can talk about how this thing was designed. The first one was designed and built by Tony Nacarato's mom, Addie Nacarato of TNA Hobbies.
Right.
She designed this thing in 1948, and interesting construction.
That's a very interesting design, especially in the context of 1948. I didn't realize it was that old.
Yeah, long tail and big tail,
Hmm.
and fairly for that era. It's like 18% wing section. It was way ahead of its time.
And it was designed originally for the long shaft Fox 59, correct?
It was a McCoy 60, I think.
Oh, wow. I've never heard of anybody flying a stunt plane. I've never heard of a McCoy 60 that would fly a stunt plane, or at least not at
Well,
even at double-digit speed. But
his dad was a machinist, and I guess Tony's dad was the first person in California to have a speed ship more than 100 miles an hour. His dad was a machinist,
Holy moly.
and he made a special backplate and rotor for the McCoy. It had rear intake, and on the original, he had to rotate the backplate because he had the inverted engine in, and his air intake was here in the top of the fuselage. And, and you know, there's some more stories about that I won't get into. Yeah, there's some interesting things about this airplane, the way she built it. This trailing edge, this is one sheet from where the trailing edge sheeting starts here back to here. And so there's no glue joint in this area here because the sheet just kind of bends around that. So there's no discontinuity other than the change in the airfoil shape. It's a polywog thing, yes, but there's no distinct crease right here like you would see on like a flight streak. And so the plans we have in the magazine, and I think the kits that have come out, show separate pieces here to do this. But we tried to simulate as well as possible what Addie had on her airplane. And I was looking at the airplane that Tony brought to VSC a couple of times. And that's what I took all the measurements and patterns off of for that. And the other thing she did was interesting. Normally, we show it on the plans, the spars are right underneath the leading edge sheeting here, like you would think of a D tube. She didn't do that. Her spar was actually below the sheeting by at least a 1/16 of an inch. So that the top sheeting didn't touch that spar. And the reason she did that was she wanted to give the effect that the covering was scalloped over the rounded shape of the airfoil, and you had to really look to tell that there was actually sheeting on the leading edge, because it acted like contoured like fabric covered leading edge would do.
Interesting.
And we didn't show that on the plans that were published in the magazine, and didn't think that was really necessary to maintain the integrity of the old time philosophy of old time stunt, because to me that compromised a little bit of the strength of the wood or the wing if you didn't have the spars attached to that leading edge sheeting.
You could use scallopy wood for the spar.
Well, yeah, you could do that. That would have done the same thing, but for an old time airplane, and I'll let you do that one, Howard.
Yeah. Good
It's
answer.
down the list somewhere. Yeah, but it's been a good airplane. When it was brand new, took this thing to Nats, and it won old time at the Nationals, and it's placed well the contests ever since.
What engine do you have in yours, Keith?
This is a double star 60 that Roy Trantham set up for me. I originally built it for an OS 50, and it didn't have enough power for it, and didn't run right like a stunt engine should. So that's sort of the story, or some of the story on this thing. I'll show you a picture of Tony's airplane. I've got it here somewhere. Hold on.
All right.
Yeah, I've seen Charles Reeves' airplane at the Nationals. That was an awfully pretty airplane too.
Boy, this
I
paint
believe he
job-
used the Fox in his.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He started with a long nose, I think, and ended up with
Yeah.
a short nose in it.
Yeah, I met Tony at a hobby store in LA.
I asked Charlie about the switch from the long nose to the short nose. He said he was tired of breaking the cranks and shafts on the long nose and went to a short nose. And I asked him how much difference there was in performance. He said there's not enough to worry about it, not enough to think about it. So He said it was a lot easier to build for the short nose,
Mm.
short
I watched-
shaft. It's not a short nose, short shaft.
Mhm.
Wendy Ranowski had a video series when he was building his big job for VSC.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's on the Walt Burnell channel. It's a pretty neat set of videos.
Mhm.
I'd like to see that. It's on the what channel?
The Walt Burnell.
Walt
Walt
Burnell
Burnell.
channel. I'll have to look that up.
Yeah, Walt Burnell has a lot. I mean, more than anybody else. If you like Wendy Ranowski, there's so much more there than any other channel.
That's interesting. I've met Walt. He's an interesting fellow. But I tell you what, Wendy could do things with paint that nobody else could do. I don't know how he did it. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, classic looking plane.
And,
Hang on a second.
and Tony said this was painted like what his mother built in 1948. And it doesn't show up, but that's a metallic blue.
Mhm.
Nice.
Beautiful.
And then on one of the coverage of Stunt News for VSC, you can see there's Tony's airplane and Charlie's and mine.
Oh, very
Does
cool.
that show up?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it does. Very neat. Very neat.
Very neat. Yeah.
And there's another thing, let me show you. That paint scheme that I have on my big job certainly is not original, but this is Don Still's Stuka that he took to the World Championships
Mm.
Oh, nice.
with the
Very
white body and leading edge, and then the light blue and then the shaded part.
Everyone I never seen of that he had, it was black. It's interesting to see one that's not just black.
Yeah. And when it went to Europe at the World Championships, he had to cross out, he just made a square design out of swastika on the tail. On the
Oh
black.
yeah. Yeah.
It's illegal to show the swastika over there.
Wow. Thank you, Keith.
I don't know, does that show up? This was a flap. No, it's not going to show up.
Hang
Yeah.
on. Let me make it big. Go ahead now.
It does have a little bit of a, not much, but it's got a little bit in it.
Of course, this is a flap, sheeted top and bottom. And I had this thing on a perfectly flat building board. And I used the wood glue to put the sheets together. And when it came off that building board, it just sprung up like this. And there's no way, I tried wetting it and all that, trying to warp it. And there's no way it's going to get it to.
Oh, what a shame.
Hmm.
Does that show up here?
Yeah, it does.
Yes.
I see the bow.
Yeah, you can see the bow in it.
Not much.
But not what you want on a stunt ship. when
Sell
you-
it to an Australian for a boomerang.
What's that?
Sell it to an Australian for a boomerang.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Hey, Bob Whitley, thank you for coming in.
Hey, my pleasure. I can't stay long. I want to shut down early. It's been a long day and I want to get out and do some fairly early flying tomorrow.
Flying of control line or flying of
Flying
full
control
scale?
line. I wasted the whole day yesterday flying full scale and today doing volunteer stuff mostly for the model side. Went to the Friday breakfast meeting with some of the old guys from our old control line club. And that was always nice. And then went around town begging and borrowing for prize donations from businesses for the contest next week. So it was fairly successful on that. And
You got
we
you got a package yesterday at 152.
I did. You want to make me big, Charles?
There it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let me make it big. Hang on. 1 second.
There
All
it
right.
is.
Very nice.
Thank you very much, sir. And this thing seems to pop fairly nice, so should be a
What
good
is
runner.
that? What size is that?
That's
Looks
a
like
60.
my 80.
That's a 60. Max
60?
OS 60. Yeah.
Wow, that is a big 60.
Let me see the head. Let me see the
And
head.
the head is the new one. It's got 11.
It's got, so you got the good one. Yeah.
Oh, that's good to hear. Yeah, and for you guys to be in the know, Keith sent a wonderful letter of description of it, and he sent the engine tech stuff on both models of engine.
Wow, nice.
So a true gentleman we have in our midst, people.
Absolutely.
He's a class act, that's for sure. Always has been.
Well, I was at one of my hardwood suppliers. I hit him up for some aircraft plywood. So roughly the equivalent of 64th 0.8 millimeter. He's donating an entire sheet to the contest. I'm going to cut that up into 12 by whatever sizes and for giveaways, along with a bunch of maple for motor mounts that I've cut up. And while I was there, I scored the last 3 pieces of balsa existing here right now. I'll just show them.
Hey,
3 nice blocks.
Wow.
I
Holy
haven't
moly.
weighed them yet, but my guesstimate is that they're between 5 and 6 pounds average.
Wow.
Not bad at all.
The other ones I got from them last year, there was more of a selection, so I picked through a bit, and they range from 3.8 to 5.2 pound.
Wow.
Wow.
But I guess this is the last of them for the foreseeable future.
You weren't allowed to ship balsa into the States, or are they having problems? Was it tariff?
There's a guy in Manitoba supplies mostly free flighters. Apparently,
Oh, yeah, you're Canada.
guys are getting good stuff. But I don't know where he gets it from though. But I've got to order some.
Mm-hmm.
But I've got enough for my Mark Freeman Spitfire and my El Raby Sea Fury stashed away. But other than that, I really don't want to dip into that for other projects right now.
Where'd you get your Sea Fury? Did you
I
get
got
a semi
that- I
kit?
got that from Walt.
Yeah, I was going to try to get one myself, but I think Walt is pretty much out of it now.
Yeah, when he was doing his move just before that, I ordered the last one that he put out, I think, before the move. And the service was incredible. Just, I had it in a couple of weeks and they marked it down as a gift for it. So I got past a lot of the customs with that way and everything. Just a true gentleman. I was so appreciative. Because that was one of my dream airplanes from day one. When I first read Al's articles, and I think it was American Aircraft Modeler back in, was it 73, 72, 73, somewhere in there. And I still have them. And I always wanted that airplane. And I decided when I saw that Walt was offering it, I just jumped on it and grabbed it. And one of these days when I'm good, I'll build it.
Is that Walter Umlin you talking about?
Yeah.
I have
But I'm
Al's
learning stage on building.
I have Al's BBQB, the little Bearcat, and the Mustang Snaggletooth.
Mm-hmm.
And I took the Snaggletooth plans and blew them up 110%, and then blew the parts blow up sheet, blew it up 110%, and started cutting out. I have a kit of the 110 Mustang, and then Al told me where in Texas to order the canopy. So I have, I guess, everything that I needed to build them, except I want those little landing gear blocks that they came out with, those little metal landing gear blocks, make the shock absorbing gear. It's not really shock absorbing, but that's what everybody calls it. The shock absorbing landing gear.
I have the address somewhere that Al gave me for that. If you don't have it, for the guy that does that.
I don't have it. I'd like to have it if you can find it.
I'll dig that up and maybe I'll post that on Stunthangar or something, or put it on here next week. He also does the for the Rojets. He does the pinning of the spinner and the thrust washer for or drive washer for it. And I think he also if you have a true turn spinner, he also does the lightning holes in the back plate. Just before the True Turn shut down, I ordered 2 of the 3 3/4 inch P51 spinners for the Sea Fury also, and a whole bunch of other stuff from them. So
I didn't know they'd shut down. Doggone.
I also got a 2.5 inch, I think it is, for my old Sig Mustang when I rebuilt it.
Mm-hmm.
You can
Well,
get
that's some neat stuff.
you can get spinners about that shape for the Sea Fury from this outfit in China in carbon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Diameter, and they look okay. Let's put it that way. Just they're black, so you have to figure out a way to paint them.
Oh, it's no problem to paint them.
I have one of the maybe the similar one in sort of a cream colored nylon. It looks like not carbon, but it's 4 inch, I think, which I could use if I would have had to. I'd just open up the cowl a bit more, but I've got the 2 true turns, so I'll use them unless it's too nose heavy, and then I'll look at the carbon fiber.
Well, that's already the right shape, isn't it, for the P51 or a Sea Fury? Yeah.
Yeah, or close enough.
Yeah.
That's the one that Al specified.
Yeah.
I have a question regarding True Turn. I heard that they still are in business. They're not making new spinners, but anything they have in stock, they're still selling and not doing any customization. They won't like make holes or stuff like that. But
Right, if they don't have a size in stock, you're not going to get it.
Right, but they have it. You can still get it.
Yeah, they're primarily an aerospace machining company, and this was a sideline. And I presume they probably got a new CEO who decided, or stockholders decided to shut it down. We're making enough of us guys with the toys.
Hey, Steve, welcome to the show. Thank you very much for coming in. And Jonathan Cordota says, hi, guys, a bit late. You're welcome, John. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate it. And go ahead, Jerry. Stuart.
Yeah, I just got a question. I'm going to use this. I hope to use this for learning some of the pattern. Can you run an LA-15 okay without a muffler?
Oh gosh, yeah.
Okay, I didn't know if you could or not. So.
It depends where you fly. Some places, have noise restrictions and stuff.
I'm okay. We're out in the bean field, so it's out in the middle of a farm, so we're fine.
Yeah.
So, that's fine.
You might want a muffler. Hold up that airplane again real quick. Is that like a Meslik or Yavenko? That's going to be tail heavy as all get up with a 15 on the front.
Okay. So
with an LA-15. So you might want to run the muffler just to get some weight up there.
Okay. I didn't think it was going to fit. Oh yeah, maybe I'm okay. Yeah. All right. Okay, I'll put it on then and run it that way.
And then you can put a wire, coat hanger wire or something like that on the bottom, just so when it lands, it doesn't snag the muffler or anything sticking down there.
Just curious, is that thing that actually has screw-on motor mount beams, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you want to, how creative you want to get, but if you were take the beams and make them longer, push the motor forward an inch or two. The LA-15, push it forward, and that'll get you past your balance issue too.
Yeah, I can't do that with this because there's not enough.
And just another recommendation, what length lines were you planning on flying that on?
I don't know. That's something. That's another good question.
I would start with 52s. Because, technically, those are FAI combat planes that run, high performance 15s. But we put LA-25s on those and run them in speed limit to fly on 60-foot lines. Yeah. I don't think that 15 is going to work on 60s. So you probably want to be on 52s.
Okay.
And just expect it to be a little tail heavy right off the bat, even with that muffler. So, are you running a hard tank or a bladder on it? Bladder, yeah. Short bag it for the first flight. Don't.
Oh, okay, don't put a lot in it.
Yeah, don't put. And that 15 will run all day on like 1.5 ounces of fuel.
Okay.
Yeah.
What I want to do though is use this to learn some of the harder stunts.
Sure.
If I have to, I'll put a ribbon in the back to help slow it down a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing you can do too is on the motor mounts. We took maple, just wood, and made motor mounts to extend our motors out further.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if you need to. Or
Yeah.
I mean, the other option is put a 25 on it and fly it on 60s. I think you'll be happier with it.
Oh, okay. I got a 25 already, so I just thought I wanted to try this because it might slow it down a little bit. That's what.
That I mean, there's nothing wrong with trying it, but ultimately, I think a 25 would work better on that with 60-foot lines for what you're trying to accomplish, learning pattern stuff.
A 25 would be about an ounce and a half heavier too, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, then you get away from having to put nose weight on it or extend the mounts.
Yeah.
You know, try the 15. I think it's probably going to be a little underpowered for that size of wing for that many squares.
Oh, okay, so okay, well, maybe I shouldn't bother.
I mean, it'll spin up on a bladder. You know, it's going to run like stink. It'll run better than it will on a suction tank. But you got to think of, 15 size combat planes were like junior Satans and, stuff like that. They're about 3/4 the wing area of what you've got there. Maybe even just 2/3,
You don't think it'll be enough to do what I want to do then?
It might be. You can try it.
I'll see what happens.
And you'll need like a 7-inch prop, 7.4, 7.5 on there to run that on a bladder. Because I've run some 15s on bladders on combat wings, but nothing near that big, that many squares.
Oh, okay. Maybe this is just a big board.
And even the little ones that I'm flying them on, I do fly them on 52-foot lines.
I've done that.
Combat or using them? Using this for combat? Actual combat?
No, the ones that I had the 15s on were just for sport flying, just for fun.
Okay.
Go ahead, Howard. What were you going to say?
Oh, I had an airplane. I took one of those combat planes and put a radial type mount on it. It was a test plane for the B-17, and had a lot of wood up front, and an OS 15 FP, and I added a long tail to it, a 3/8-inch aluminum tube about 2 feet long with the same stabilizer. And this monstrosity flew pretty well. It was a pretty good stunt plane on 52-foot lines, I think. But yeah, the 15 FP on a bladder will tote that wing and some extra weight along just fine.
Very cool. Let me welcome Mark Wise. Thank you for coming in, Mark.
Hey, Charles.
You might.
So, Howard, are you happy to be home?
Well, yeah.
Seems good, doesn't it? After it's fun to go away and stuff, but it's sure is nice to get back home.
So, Howard, has Mary Lou decided if you're coming up here next week?
We looked at the rules for getting into Canada. They seem kind of onerous, so maybe we'll go and maybe not.
Yeah, it's just a bit of extra paperwork. A lot of others have done it. Fill in a few more blanks.
The question is, if they decide to test you, can you turn around and leave, or are you committed to stay for 5 days if you fail the test?
I think you can turn around and leave, but the simple solution is just get tested before you leave.
Oh, if you can do that.
Yeah, if you've got a certificate of testing, I think it's within 72 hours. I don't know. You'd have to look it up.
Okay, well, look.
And all you got to do is take that paper with you from whatever pharmacy, the hell it is, and you come across with it.
Okay.
Hey, Phil.
Nice to see you.
Yep.
I was over in my toolbox. I heard you say you wanted to ask me something.
Yeah. Do you have or have you seen a picture of the aurora? I have not seen a picture of that yet. I'd like to see what it looks like.
Just a diagram. That's the only thing he's posted is a drawing of it along with the Axioma 4.
What does it look like?
It kind of looks like an Axioma, but it's actually a little smaller.
Oh, okay.
because I looked at the wing measurements and the fuse measurements. Of course, got everything in millimeters, but the wingspan is definitely shorter than the Axioma. It's smaller overall. And I don't know why he did that. Maybe to make it less bulky for transport. It'll fit in a smaller case, maybe. But, you know, it's the same basic concept as the Axioma 4 from what I can see. Just
when I figure out how to do it, I want to order an Axioma 4.
Stephen,
like one of those.
Don't mind it. It flew just fine. It doesn't do anything perverted, according to his dad, and it was good, simple.
Yeah, I'd like to have one, but I don't know how to get in touch with. I
You've
got
been
booted
practicing
off
every day,
eBay.
Mike?
I think I friended someone I shouldn't have friended, because as soon as I friended him, I got kicked off eBay. I mean, not eBay, Facebook, and I haven't been able to get it straightened out yet. So it's not easy to straighten things out with Facebook. But,
what happened? You got kicked off for what?
I friended somebody. I had friended everybody in my family, and then friended my nephew, and he is a bit of a rounder. And I mean, just that quick, I was off. And they said basically I had, what did they say?
Violated community standards?
Yeah.
Well, then you commented on one of his posts, and you said something that the speech.
I didn't comment at all. I made no comments at all on eBay. Nothing. I befriended, and my cousin posted a post and said, someone asked me to friend them, and then cut me off. It says we're related, so I had to call her and tell her, no, I didn't defriend you. I got kicked off of Facebook. So
that's
she's
odd.
trying to figure out, what did you do? I said I friended my nephew, and it didn't work. I don't know what happened.
Well, call me tomorrow.
I don't have your number, Mike. I'd love to, but I don't have your number.
I think I got yours. I'll get it from Will. I'll call you tomorrow, and I can get you sorted out over the phone. You'll have to give me your, password and stuff, but I'll go look at your account.
That's no problem.
Yeah, we'll get you, because I noticed you're not on the control line site either, so.
No, I can't get on Facebook at all. I got on there today and looked around a little bit on my wife's, but I couldn't get to his site. So
that's how you got to get to Surratt, the guy that sells the Axiomas.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can help you get back on so you can get a hold of him.
You've been flying every day, Mike, with that Axiomas, like you said you were going to?
We've been flying 3 times a week, Sam and I. We went out Wednesday, and we went out Sunday, we went out Wednesday, we went out Thursday. We're going out this Sunday. We're flying a lot.
Yeah, but are you flying the Axiomas?
We're flying all F2D combat right now. I put it together. It's ready. It's all together and ready to go. I'm just waiting for that. It hasn't lined up when he's been at school and I've been able to take off and go fly for a couple hours because I've had other obligations to take care of. Yesterday I mowed out at the field. The RC club let me cut a real circle out there because I told you the place we fly, we're kind of half on and half off the runway. So they let us, I asked the president if I was able to cut the area.
Hang on, Mike. 1 second, Mike. Hey, Ruben, I think you might have an extra tab open. You have a YouTube tab or something open?
Yeah, he must.
We're getting some feedback. I'll go ahead and mute you real quick until you fix that. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah. So anyway, I cut a 70-foot circle out there in the hayfield, which was about 1.5 feet high. 6 passes with the mower to get it down to like an inch. But now we're just barely intruding on the grass runway. We're really not in the way at all. So that opens up a lot more flying pods because we try to go out there when nobody's there, so we're not in the way. When RC guys are all there, we're kind of in the way. But now we're not going to be in the way. And today I just built a 4x6 bench out of 2x10s and 4x4 legs. The thing weighs about 300 pounds. And I'm going to take that out there on the trailer on Sunday and drop it off in our area so that we have a workbench and a table. Because we can leave that kind of stuff out there. You guys have all been to RC fields. I'm sure you've seen the starting benches that they have that hold the wings, and they got the two by fours for the wing. So they got about 6 of those out there, and they're not really suited for what we need to do. I need a table to lay out all our crap. And I was taking a folding table out there all the time. I started looking around in Chris's scrap pile, and I was like, man, can I have some of this to build us a bench? He was like, yeah, go for it. So I just about 2 hours today, I knocked together a nice bench, and it's big enough and heavy enough that nobody's going to want to move it once it's there. So I don't have to worry about the RC guys dragging it over to their side. But the club's been pretty cool, man. They're like, yeah, cut a circle, put a bench out here. This can be your area. And, it's a little hilly on a couple places because it's not optimum. But Daryl said, if this becomes a more permanent thing, maybe we can talk to the parks guys and get them to bring the dozer over and try to flatten it out for you a little bit, which would be nice. And then, Daryl told me I could cut it as much as I want, but it's just basically an extension of their pit area and runway. So he thinks he can talk the park guys into starting to mow it and keep it maintained since I did the initial cut on it. Because when I went out there Thursday, they were out there. The parks department mows their runway and their pit area, which is really nice. So I'm going to talk to the head guy and see if he'll just, it'll be like an extra 15 minutes of work for him to run those mowers through there. So maybe I won't have to take the mower out. But
that'd be
nice. We got really a place we can call home that's specifically for us, So
I saw the YouTube video you put up of you and Sam flying, and looks like Sam's chewing on you pretty good. You're doing a bunch of figure eights, and he's right on your tail.
That's what we're practicing right now. I'm not really going after him. I'm just letting him go after me.
You're just doing figure eights, and he's chasing you, but he's doing a pretty darn good job.
Yeah, we've still had some incidents. You probably saw me fixing an airplane here earlier. I think we roached 2 the other day that we were out, but they were both repairable. So
yeah, what got me was all those $7 propellers. Wow, that gets expensive quick.
Like what you were saying about the RC club, they're embracing you. That seems to be getting to be a bit of a trend, at least around here. Like about 80 miles south of here, a town called Pinoca, they got a really nice RC field, and it's pretty much permanent for them. It's tied in with one of the service clubs. They're used a lot. But there's an old abandoned fenced off baseball diamond area or something or other that was all gone to grass, and they weren't using it. And they mow that down and use it as a control line field and just welcome control line flyers. And a lot of the RC guys are converting to it. A couple of the other clubs, they welcome control line doing exhibition flying at their events and stuff, and the odd bit of flying. So now maybe it's a bit of a positive trend happening for the benefit of control line.
Well, in my case, it probably helps that we've been flying RC out there since we built this house here. So 7-8 years, we went out there and started flying RC. So we kind of got to know them flying our RC planes and stuff. And then I was like, hey, I fly control line too. Could I bring some stuff out here? And they were like, yeah, we'd like to see it. And just over time, they like watching the stunt stuff, but they really enjoy when Sam and I fly combat. When, they all really dig that because a lot of them hadn't seen anything like that before. So they warmed up to us and they welcomed us. And, like I said, we got our own spot now. So it's pretty awesome. I'm really hoping the deal with them leveling that field a little bit would come. If they, all skid loader and 1 hour of work, they could just knock those humps off. And, hell, I'd plant the damn grass seed out there. I'd buy it myself and put the grass seed down, But we'll see how far we get.
We're real lucky. The schoolyard we can use it. We used it for decades now, the guys. And it's really nice, smooth, level ground, and you don't need grass gear for it, wheel plants and everything. That's just fine. We got our own ride-em mower in the club and that kind of stuff. you know, like they keep it mowed pretty good anyway. It's a school, but not quite good enough for control lines. So we mow our own some pit areas and stuff. But we're real lucky to have that. You know, we can put in 2 or 3 really good circles. And
Be back just a minute.
All right.
Steve, I promise you, I will get flying the Axioma next week, man. I promise. I'm going to get on it. I need to get on it. It's just right now, man, my priority really is Sam and us getting as much flying in before the snow flies as we can. And we're still going to try to get out there even over the winter. You know, I've got an outlet with an inverter in the back of my pickup truck built in. I've already checked. I can run my heat gun off it. So there's no reason we can't even get out there. You know, Tennessee doesn't get really bad, but you know, we get 30, 40 sometimes, but I can warm the engines up and, you know, we should be able to go fly all winter long. And that's really where we're at, is keep him on his training program.
Hey, did you ever get up to Buckley when you lived here in Michigan with your dad? That big steam engine show and stuff?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay.
Don't know it.
Let me interrupt. Mark, was you trying to say something earlier, Mark?
I think I was. I'm not sure I remember what it was, but since you usually ask about did we do any flying, I just want to commend myself for doing 720 laps today, flying.
72 pilots I read, Mart, and it looks like you made it.
Yeah, it was at the, I'm in Bridgeport, West Virginia for the second year of a Youth Aviation Expo. And unfortunately, I didn't get anyone to go with me. And when you're teaching kids on a ring rat, it's exhausting, especially the little. But I have 72 today, and
wow.
one of them came back 6 times, which I love.
Yeah,
that's the guy you want to keep.
Oh, that is.
So we had a good day. I'm just tired. It was probably mid to upper 80s. But you know, it's rewarding, and you know, I'm comfortable doing it, and the kids seem to enjoy the company. So doing this each year.
That's great, boy. Next time, hope you get some more volunteers to help you. I have a comment from Jonathan Cordores. He says we should call Combat Aerobot Battles and televise it. It'd haul in new members.
Bring your camera. Come on out.
That would. I mean, if those robot things have an audience, why wouldn't Combat have an audience? You know, because it's,
you know, along those lines, has anyone contacted Flight Test and seen if they can tie in with them on all those massive extravaganzas they're always doing? They're incredibly popular on YouTube.
I couldn't hear you, Bob.
The Flight Test bunch. I imagine some of you watch them.
Sam is addicted to the Flight Test guys. He knows them all by name.
Yeah, I'm wondering if anyone approached them and doing feature. I know one show they tried to fly control line planes themselves, but
they did. They built control liners.
You know, to have some real control liners get out there and maybe do a feature with them. The hits that they get are immense.
Yeah, where are they out of? Where are they at?
I don't know. In the States somewhere.
Yeah, Sam is subscribed to their channel and he comments on all their stuff, and he's been pestering me for 2 years to buy some of their kits, because if those of you that don't know Flight Test, these guys do all kinds of crazy airplane inventions.
Hang on a second, Mike.
Picked up a Cessna 340 as a gate guardian now on a play toy, I imagine, an old abandoned one.
Hang on a second, Bob Woodley. Hang on, Ruben, say something. Ruben, can your audio work? Are you frozen?
We're out here at Whittier's Narrows now. We're at the Robot Inn at Whittier's Narrow.
Okay, all right.
We went out to the flying field today, and around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, where the RC guys fly their planes.
All right, hang on a second, Ruben. Hang on. I just wanted to make sure you're working. I know you came in twice, but I'm going to go back to Bob and Steven, and then you'll get a chance to talk, right, Ruben? Just hold tight. Go ahead, Bob Whitley. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, they picked up a Cessna 340 wreck to abandoned plane to set up as a gate guardian. Knowing those guys, they're going to set it up as a full-on flying, simulator for flying the models from or anything. Just that, but their hits that they get on YouTube and the events that they put on are just massive. And if there's someone in the area on control line, could maybe touch base with them and see about doing a feature or two or
doing a real thing. Yeah, they do crazy stuff with RC planes. They build things that should not fly, and they fly. And then they came out with a line of kits. They're cardboard kits, and they're cheap. They're like $30 kits for 40-sized RC planes, electrics, and they've got a whole brand. And they're exposing tons of people to model aviation, tons and tons. So Bob is right. If I'm going to find out where they're at, but you're right. If they had some real control line modelers that would be willing to go show up at their place with some stuff, I imagine they could make a whole show of it.
I forgot about it earlier. It's my other acquisition today. You want to show that, Charles?
All right, let me make it big here. And then next year, Ruben next after this. What is that?
That's a lapping plate for flattening and honing and whatnot. And you put diamond paste on it and use it. This thing is bloody heavy. It's got to be at least 30 pounds, solid stainless steel. And it was a floor model that I got for $40 off list, so I just couldn't pass it up.
The lapping plate, is that right?
Yeah. So if you want to make, say, a cylinder head or whatever, back plate, face dead flat, this is the kind of thing you can do it on. You just smear on paste on it, and the grooves carry away the debris, so it is self-cleaning. But machinists use them all the time, and woodworking, we use them for flattening out sharpening stones. I use all diamond plates now myself, but I never use my stones. But yeah, I've been meaning to get one for years and just kept forgetting about it. When I saw this on clearance today, I grabbed it.
Very, very nice. And I have a comment, question you had, Mike. They're in Northern Ohio.
Minerva. Yeah, I just looked it up. Minerva, Ohio. I don't know. I'm going to see what part that is.
While you do that, let me talk to Ruben. Ruben, thank you for coming. I know you had to do it twice. I understand you're in their hotel and probably not the best Wi-Fi or internet. But so you're down for the Joust Palmer event tomorrow, right?
Not working very well. Right. We were there today, Charles, and there was a major fire. I mean, a really big fire. They chased us off the flying field because the helicopters were dumping water right at the airfield.
Oh, no.
There was 3-4 helicopters dumping water right with the RC wood. It was a big fire. It lasted hours and hours and hours. They chased us off we went by about 8 o'clock tonight, and the fire's still going. It's right there where that cage is, where they walk, where the RC field is.
Yeah.
A little cage.
Right.
Yeah, it was a big fire, and the helicopters came, and the fire department was real slow getting there, real slow. By the time it started, and it became a major fire by the time they got there. So hopefully the contest goes on tomorrow to get the fire out.
I hope so. I'm going to be leaving here about a little before 6 in the morning with Joe Mata. And so I'm hoping that it stays on. I'm hoping to fly on Sunday. I'm not taking anything to fly on Saturday. I'll just hang out Saturday. But I'm hoping to compete Sunday. I thought I had Eric Rule with me today, helping me. He was just helping coach me today, and it's kind of a coaching session. So that was pretty cool.
What are you flying, Charles?
I'm gonna fly the electric SV11 in advance.
What motor do you have in that thing?
Oh boy, I wrote it down somewhere. It's my flight log, but I think it's a Brodak 3520, 970 kV.
Okay, should be all right then.
With a 12.6 reverse prop.
Do you have that system on it where you can just grab the pot on the side and turn it up 200 RPM?
No, I actually am using the KR timer instead of the human.
Okay, that's what I've got mine too.
And only because I had it, but I'm really happy with it. It's you know, I think I might have said almost a year ago it's one of the worst planes in my fleet. Not necessarily the SV11, but my SV11. And now it's turned around where it's one of my best flying planes. I'm really, truly enjoying it. And Eric Rule was he said I'm flying pretty good. So I have some small issues I got to work out, but shouldn't stop me from being very competitive.
Yeah, I still got one major issue I'm trying to work out, being able to see overhead to do the overhead eights. But I'm trying to train myself when I fly as far as I can, turn to the side, count to 3 before I give the plane any control movement. And it's back there about where it needs to be. And you come around and do the same thing, get on the other side and cut it. It's not right yet, but it may end up being a 2 count, but it's not right yet, but it's better than it was when I couldn't see it all and I was just absolutely guessing at it.
Wow. Yeah, I like watching Orestes Hernandez, how he actually turns his torso.
Oh man, he's
kind of, that is amazing how he does that. And I think Dave Fitzgerald does that too.
He is the most amazing stick I've ever seen. David Fitzgerald, the way he gets down on the ground every time, puts his hand on the ground and he's down there, I'm thinking, what happens if it gets loose? He says, it's a PA-75. It ain't going to get loose.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever you say.
I was talking with Bill Harder, who used to be one of the top stunt flyers in Canada back in the day in the 70s. He's a real tall guy. And of course, it was Fox 35s and lightweight Noblers then. And we were laughing about how it was this majestic ballet that he'd do to keep line tension with this airplane different days. And, with his extra height, he could suck right down to the ground to keep line tension and twist around. It was quite the ballet.
Yeah. I've seen Dan Banjock have his knuckles on the ground. Wide and I have a couple of comments in the chat box. Brent Williams says, yo. And then Jeff Riley says, I'll see you Sunday. Should I bring the Fox for Joe? Joe, if you're listening, comment in the chat box and let Jeff Riley know. Let me mute my mic. Sorry about this, guys.
Well, guys, I'm out of here. I ain't feeling so good.
What's the matter, Steve?
I worked 2 days on a roof and it was like 130 degrees up there.
Man.
And I got dehydrated and I woke
up. With your back, you're up doing a roof. Really?
Yeah, on flat ground. But I've been doing real good with the work. It was just so hot up there.
Yeah, well, I believe that too.
And I must not have drank enough or whatever, but I woke up at 4 a.m. with chills so bad that I put on my winter jacket.
Oh my goodness.
I was that cold. But I still ain't feeling good. I just, got way over dehydrated.
Overheated and dehydrated.
Yeah, I was surprised not hear from you. Normally you call me when I get done practicing. And
yeah, I was feeling real bad last night, and then through the night it was even worse. And
I'm sorry to hear that.
Doing better now, drinking Gatorade and taking vitamins and stuff like that to try to get
the electrolytes back.
Yeah, so
very cool.
Get feeling better, brother.
Yeah, get feeling better. Absolutely.
It's not right. You take care of yourself.
Yep. I'll see you guys later.
See you later, man.
Sir.
Take care, Steve.
Hi to Samantha.
I will. Thanks.
What has happened to our other Canadian entry? I don't see him tonight. He's supposed to be here. I had something to tell him, and he's not here.
You talk about Len?
Yeah.
Well, he's working. He works till 11. He works till 11.
Okay.
Well, if anybody, I've got to leave in just a few minutes. If anybody talks to Lynn tonight, tell him I said, be looking in your mailbox about midweek next week. I had told him I was going to send him the tune pipe. Anyway, Randy Smith, PA 75 tune pipe. And I put it in, I told him I put it in a tube. It's a piece of conduit, 2-inch, not 2-inch, 3-inch conduit. And I just closed up the two ends and put his address on it and all. Sent it through the mail. I didn't think anything about it. Well, Canadian Customs don't like that.
Oh.
Evidently, it looks like a pipe bomb. So I got it back. So I put it in a box and padded it real well. The whole thing weighs 1 pound. The tube weighed 2 pounds. This time it weighs 1 pound. Anyway, it's on the way back to him. I mailed it today, and I've got a tracking number for him to give him. But anyway, just tell him it is on the way again, and I don't know how long it takes to get through customs, but it was mailed out today and should be to him.
If you give me the tracking number, I'll get a hold of him.
All right, hang on a minute.
So I have some comments in the chat box. Joe Mata, he said, yes, bring it. And then Jeff Riley says, cool, Joe, it'll be in the truck. I don't have a muffler for it. So we have
boy.
a Fox 35 without the muffler. But you
You'll
might
get a
find a
flash.
muffler there at the contest, Joe. So there should be some people selling some stuff. Matter of fact, John Wright, he has his table, which is called the Right Stuff. And he might, yeah, it's pretty cool. I like it.
Stuart, you got a pen and paper ready?
Yep.
LZ, like zebra, 99909 2923 US.
Okay. The first part was LZ 999.
Yep. 09.
0929323 US.
That's it.
Got her. I'll give it to him.
Thank
Hey,
you,
Ruben,
sir.
I have a question, Ruben. How much is it to get into Wooden Arrows?
There's a $7 charge, but if you're a senior citizen, it's $2 off.
All right.
The Walgas was there today. He's got quite a table full of stuff too.
Oh yeah, I saw. Matter of fact, Lou Walgas had a pretty good setup at the Las Vegas Stunt Challenge last year.
Yeah, he brought a lot of stuff out there today. He brought the trailer. He pulled the trailer behind him. It's full of stuff.
Wow, that's cool. I need to scrounge up some cash.
There was quite a few people that were here today till the fire came.
Yeah. So you guys are flying tomorrow. You guys doing profile and classic and old time or what?
We'll be flying the classic. Steve will be flying classic tomorrow and Tampa on Sunday. So I think they're gonna have a good turnout.
Oh, that'd be great. That'd be great. So who did you see from Arizona besides Lou Walgas?
Rick Reed came with him, and Gary Akers was there. The Mark was there. Mark, get his last name.
Mark Wasnick?
Yeah, that's correct. And of course, John Wright. They'll have a good turnout tomorrow. The weather's supposed to be really well tomorrow. 3 to 5 mile an hour wind tomorrow, maybe 10 mile on Sunday.
All right. Well, that sounds good. Well, whatever it is, it's what it is. So, I'm planning on competing Sunday. I'm going to be watching, and maybe I might help out. I'm a member of the club, so I might help out maybe tomorrow. I don't know. It depends.
It'll be like normal. You'll get out there, and tomorrow they'll want you to practice, get ready to fly, and Sunday they'll need something. You'll get tired
Charles,
up.
did that guy get back with you on those free airplanes?
Yeah, I was just attending the after party, but yeah, I actually got his phone number, gave him a call, and Joe Mata and I did a conference call with him, and so we're going to hook up. So it's going to work out. Thank you very much.
All right. Yeah. Well, when I see free airplanes in Southern California, what is that?
Yeah. You only have one window open, Ruben, or is that all you have open on your computer?
You're talking about the window. It's the hotel's problem.
Okay.
The hotel.
All right. All right. Well,
Did you say Brent Williams was out in YouTube land watching?
yeah, I'm gonna mute you, Ruben, because it's the back when someone else talks. Yeah, I see. Brent Williams says, "Yo."
Okay, I got something for him if you want to highlight me real quick.
Sure, make you big.
Brent, I saw your post on Stunthangar about the XT60 connectors, and now you may have had a different issue than what this will help, but I don't know if you're familiar with these little handle, I guess, extensions that you can put on XT60 connectors. They make them for male and female, so it's a clamshell. They come in two pieces, and you just put a little CA on them and clamp them together, and it just gives you a little bit more meat to grab the connector on your battery. And then they also make it for the other side as well. They make male and female sides. These are from Hobby King. You can find those on Hobby, and they're super cheap. They're like $2 for a bag of 10 or something like that. But I did read your thread about your XT60 problem and maybe having something, because they're knurled too. They got like a nice grip on them. I don't know if you can see that.
Oh, yeah, we can see
But
it.
nice place for your index finger and your thumb to go, and you can get both hands, and just gives a nice handle, something good and meaty to grip onto. So check them out, Hobby King, if you're interested.
That's a great tip. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it.
Wish I'd known about those when I started. I would not be using Dean's.
And Jonathan Cordotas, he says, "Thanks, guys. Get a go. Catch you next time." Thank you, Jonathan, for stopping by. I appreciate it.
I once ran into a problem with this XT60 with were actually they used up after a while. It was a brand, I think it's called Amos. It actually is the better quality. And I bought something, I forget if it was Banggood or Hobby King, but they actually loosened up, and I almost lost a plane because of it.
Wow.
So you want to make sure you get I think it's Amos. Is it AMAS? I think the way it's pronounced, and they make a better quality, and they actually are better with the heat when you go to solder.
Hey, Steven, good to see you. You're muted right now because of the feedback we're getting, Steven, unless you can fix it for us. You got to unmute yourself, Steven, but only if you fix that feedback. We're almost done, man, and we're going to have the after party in like 15 minutes. Sorry to interrupt you, Steven.
It's usually with the bandwidth somehow.
All right, I understand. I know how hotels are.
Sounds like it's Carl's internet, man.
Say it again?
I said he sounds like he's on Carl's internet.
Oh. Yeah. We've had people have had issues as it's happened. So
earlier on with Ruben talking, if there wouldn't have been video, I could have sworn it was Steven, and they sound identical.
Can I put a little plug in here, Charles?
Go ahead.
Just a reminder for Midwestern folks, we're going to be running the FCM contest this weekend, this Sunday, and we're all set to go with it. We do have a bit of a discouraging word, the forecast right now, depending on where you go. It looks either bad or really bad, but we'll be soldiering ahead one way or the other. But scattered showers and thunder showers in Muncie at the L-pad. What could possibly go wrong? So
hopefully, hopefully it'll pass through real quick and
well, one forecast said it was gonna be like that all day, and another one said that we might actually get a window between 9 and 2 o'clock. If we get that, we're going to have us a contest, and so we'll be there.
Well, I wish you luck. That's always a neat contest.
Well, it's always a cool one. It's unfortunate. Alan Goff is getting his surgery on it. He's getting a knee replaced on Monday, and he's basically in isolation right now. So to make sure that nothing happens, and so we're all pitching in to try to run the contest there without him. And he's also making plans for a really big contest next year. So he's going to be running another Jubilee contest, and that was the last time they did one like that a few years ago, and it was really special. And it'll be something to look forward to if you're in this part of the country.
Let us know about it, Dennis, if it's going to happen, because that's something I might try to drive to.
Yeah,
it's 10 hours away, but
it's a pretty good ride, but it's usually next year it'll be back to a 2-day meet and stuff like that, and it's usually a pretty doggone good thing. So
yeah, that's what I've heard.
So at any rate,
sounds like fun.
Very cool.
Is Howard still on?
Yeah, we're still live. We're still streaming. We'll be in.
If Howard's still here.
Yeah, Howard's there.
Okay, yeah. Howard, if you and Mary Lou can make it up here next week, wonder if I might take advantage of an offer you made to me a while back.
What's that?
And do up some Nemesis ribs.
Oh, I don't know that I have any cut. I can see if I can cut some.
Yeah, maybe a couple of sets. Just out of curiosity, not for right now, but at some point in the future. You don't by any chance have the files for the Boston ribs, do you?
No.
Okay. I always liked that airplane too.
Yeah,
even
though
that was your roommate, wasn't it?
Yeah.
College?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I'd have to insult you because I don't have any G2135, so I'd have to run Foxes on them.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I got C35s though.
That'll work.
That's it. That way you won't have to feel dirty about running them. So
yeah, and I got that airplane. I got that airplane all lined up for you guys to take you flying in too if you make it up here.
Not bad.
It'll be fun.
Name of the game. Guys, I'm gonna get out of here. Everybody have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday night, I hope. Wow. I don't know where that came from, but that's a heck of a loop. Y'all be good.
Bill?
Yes, sir.
When do we get a report on that Bearcat carrier thing?
The Bearcat carrier, as soon as I get enough into it to know how it's going to go. Okay. I haven't gotten started on it yet, Keith. I got to finish the Pathfinder.
I understand.
And then
I'm just giving you a bad time.
Yeah, we'll finish that. I'm hoping to have time to build it in time for the October contest. But I have a OS 40 FSR to go in it, and I have the controls and the Don's wheels and everything to go in it, ready to go. 3-line control system and everything to go in it. And it's the next one I want to start, but I got to finish something. I've got 4 planes down there in process and nothing finished. So I'm trying to finish one that's been there as I build one. So I hopefully get something done, because it's just looks like a whole lot of bones down there, a whole lot of planes that have not been finished. And it's kind of sad. Anyway, guys, have a great weekend. We'll talk to you soon.
See ya. Thanks for coming in, Phil.
Anytime.
That sounds like an engine.
Yeah, there's a TikTok video of a guy riding a dirt bike off a cliff with a parachute.
Okay.
He had a parachute on the dirt bike too. He goes off the sand dune that's, man, it only looks like it's about 150 feet high. And as soon as he jumps the sand dune, he ditches the bike, deploys a parachute, and he must have a static line to the bike, because then there's a parachute on the bike too. He lived. He only had about a 10-second canopy ride, so he wasn't very high when he deployed. But yeah, all right.
The important thing is, did the bike live?
Yeah, it came down under a round.
All right.
don't get TikTok, man. It is highly addictive.
I know. Yeah.
And especially if like you find stuff that you like dirt bikes, parachuting. There's even airplane stuff on there if you're, I mean, and it's just video after video after video of whatever your hobby is, and they're short. So that's what makes it good, because they're not, you don't have to watch 10 minutes of video to get to the exciting part. The videos are usually 30 seconds and you see the crash or you see the cool thing that don't get it. It's very addictive, man.
We should make some TikTok of control line stunt or a combat or something.
I made a TikTok of Sam with a combat plane.
Very good. You get some views and likes?
I did, yeah. It's hang on. I think I can show it. I'll have to hold my phone up because I don't have it like online. But if you make me big, Charles.
Yeah, I mean, I'm working on it right now.
Okay. Now let me see. I'm going to click on. You'll have to listen real close.
Okay, that's not supposed. I know what's wrong with it. Ain't got no gas yet. Okay, that's not supposed. I know what's wrong with it. Ain't got no gas yet.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
That's a famous TikTok of like when people have broken stuff, a car rolled over or a bike broken in half or something. That line is, I know what's wrong with it. Ain't got no gas in it.
Very, very good.
So we did that with a combat plane in front of the AMA trailer
Very, very cool.
at the Nats.
Well, you guys, let's transition to the after party. So I actually still have to pack. I just put my AMA number on my plane. That's how ready I am for the contest. I got the batteries charged. Get my AMA number, and I still got to pack and get ready to go. So
did you get the show outline on it?
I'm expecting big things out of you, Charles.
I am too. Thank you very much for your encouragement, Mike. Yeah, I know we want to beat each other at our best. We want to leave no doubt, right? So,
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I don't know, Charles. You've been giving me credit with helping you out. If you don't kick some tail, I'm going to be embarrassed.
But Mike's
my reputation is riding your tail right now, so you better carry me over the finish line.
I'm definitely I'm hoping to bring it because it's just a tune-up. This tomorrow, Charles, Sunday is a tune-up.
Did you pinstripe a rudder outline on like you were talking about when you saw mine?
Say that one more time.
Did you pinstripe that rudder outline on like you commented when you saw mine?
No, I forgot about that. Yeah, I have done that.
Will never fly. You better do that. You got to have a full set of controls simulated there, right?
I like that. Yes. So yeah, I have to do that. Right. I hope to hate to use the word decorate, but I want to make the plane look better. But my focus has been flying it. Like I said, I just put the AMA numbers on it before I started the show.
Mm-hmm.
I just got this 1-inch AMA numbers, just in the rules. And so I really haven't done anything to make the plane aesthetically look better. Been more focusing on it flying. And it's flying pretty good. Eric Rule watched me put up 4 flights. And Jeff Riley says, good luck tomorrow, Charles. Actually, I'm going to compete Sunday. So hopefully, Jeff, you're going to be out there Saturday and Sunday. If you want to see me fly, and that's important to you, maybe come out Sunday if you don't want to come out Saturday, Jeff. I probably should have warned you. I will be there Saturday, but I'm not going to be flying. Anyways, with that being said, hey, we had a pretty good show. At the height of our viewing audience, we had I think like almost 29 people watching. Of course, the show gets lots of replays. Our last show had last time I checked, like 271 views after basically a day. And so I hadn't even checked since then. So we've been trending pretty good. And Wesley Curry says, I guess Satan said these words to you all. I don't know what's going on there. Anyways, hey, thank you for coming in. we'll be back Monday, and hopefully we'll have reports of the FCM contests, the Palmer, the Joust Palmer contest, and any other contests. Hopefully we'll be able to talk about that. And we can't be good, be safe, and we will see you guys Monday. Good night.
Yeah. See you, everyone. Bye now.
Get to the end of the stream.